So welcome. This is for me a very special class at the end of the year. It's a class of reflection and review, and a big inspirer for this is Daniel Siegel's work. So some of you who've come to my classes often know I talk about Daniel Siegel so fondly. It's kind of a joke at home. He's my boyfriend because I talk about him so much. And just this heartfelt, intelligent neuroscientist and psychologist. And one of the concept he talks about for our mental health is the ability to know our story and to go over our story. So what we'll do later when we come into the yin practices, I'm going to invite you to go over this past year. And all of us, I'm sure, have had ups and downs this year. That's what life is like, ups and downs. And so as you will review from now back to January 1st, and I'll guide you through it, if you've had some downs that were really hard, there's this technique from Daniel Siegel where you can fast forward. So if you feel like, no, I'm not ready to process that, I'm not even ready to think about that, you don't need to. You just fast forward over it. So that, and especially because we're all, at home, not in a room, reviewing and just whatever feels like, yeah, that I can remember, that I can tell the story. Go into that, and especially the delightful moments, because it's really important for wiring for happiness, but not to exclude any difficulty. But some of the if parts of this year were really taxing and you don't have the energy for it, just fast forward or fast rewind because we're going backwards. Yeah. And so that's what we'll do emotionally or mentally as we do our physical postures. And for the postures, a block or cushion or a book, strap or a belt would be supportive. So you can go and get that. Watch the recording, pause. Those live, go get that. No rush because this is yoga. And then lie down on your back comfortably and whatever props you need to lie down comfortably. Cushion under your head, cushion under your knees. And you're welcome to have a blanket on top. And taking 5, 8 sighs. Really letting yourself surrender into gravity through the sigh. Whatever kind of day you've had, whether it's been easy or stressful, busy or quiet, letting it rest down. Delighting in the exhales. One more long, delightful exhale, sighing out through the mouth. Then letting your breath naturally flow. Feeling the inhale, the rise in the belly. Feeling the exhale, that release down. And noticing and feeling into how are you right now, this moment in time. How does your body feel? and letting your body feel felt. How's your heart? And letting your heart feel felt. And how's your mind? Letting your mind feel felt. That awareness of mind, heart, body connection. And breathing through it all. Feeling it all. Knowing it all. Then we'll come into our first stretch, half waterfall. You can do this with the strap or holding on to your leg. You can do it with your leg bent or with the leg partially extended, completely extended. And you may prefer to do it holding on with a strap, or even at home, you can rest it on a wall or furniture. So the target is the back of the leg. And lifting up the head and the back of the neck belongs, seeing if you need a pillow or not. However, you're holding your leg or a strap, find that it's relaxed to the shoulders, not rushing into the shape, but taking time. Then once you've found the shape, surrendering to the stillness. And the inquiry on this leg and the next is that year in review. So from this moment, moving backwards, and I'll be the pacekeeper with the months, calling the days up to now in December. Highlight moments of beautiful, precious moments, moments of beauty, moments of joy and peace. And equally included difficult moments, moments of sickness and stress and disappointment. Not to wallow in anything, but this clear seeing, yeah, this is what my body, heart, and mind have gone through this year. So what has happened in the month of December? And what was it like? Maybe not just the big moments, but possibly, especially December being closer, any little moments, brief conversation with someone, or a special cup of tea or coffee, a card you may have received, or a note or a text. Remembering moments of December. And then thanking December. Thank you, December. Even if it was a difficult month, thank you. And what has transpired has passed. So possibly letting it go a little more. The pleasant and unpleasant, and all the in between, all the neutral flavors in between. Then coming to November. What happened in November? Which days stick out? Which events? Maybe even being aware of the general mood you were in that month or the various moods. It's an easier month or a harder month. Remembering November. And thanking November. Remembering October. Make it harder the further we go back, or maybe there were certain things that happened in October that are easy to remember. And pausing November, we'll come back to it, but first coming out of this stretch, lowering the leg down and feeling the rebound, feeling the presence of now. That flow of energy after the stretch, that difference from the one leg to the other. And the echoes all the way to the fingertips, the top of the head, sole of the foot. And knowing this moment. And then when you're ready, bringing in the left leg, you can hug it or stretch it up. Remember, you don't have to do the exact same on this side as the other. So maybe this time you hug the knee, or this time you hold, or this time with the strap. Maybe it's the same, maybe it's different. What's appropriate for this leg, for this stretch? And back of the neck long, chin tucked in slightly, maybe with a pillow. And then continuing after you found the shape, continuing to remember events from October, highlights and difficult moments. Maybe even remembering some of the more normal days. Maybe remembering your mood or moods in October. Remember, if anything is too much for you, you don't want to revisit it, you can fast forward or rewind past it. Only calling to mind that which you can be with. And knowing the other time, maybe with the support of a friend or therapist, a trusted one. And so that we make sense of our lives, we understand. And then offer gratitude to October. Thank you, October. And letting it go. Then coming into September. What was September like? What happened in September? Events and moods, emotions, the pleasant, the neutral, the unpleasant. Can you remember the weather from September? What comes to mind as you recall September? And then thanking September and letting September go. Remembering August. What happened in August? Where were you? What were you doing? And what did it feel like? Noticing your body now as you remember and relaxing this body. You're not there now. But you can feel the echoes of the pleasantness, and the echoes of any contracted or difficulty. What was August like? And thanking August and letting August go. And what about July? These summer months, where were you in July? Working, on holiday, at home, somewhere else? What sticks out about July? And thanking July, whatever transpired in that month, and letting it go as you ease out of the shape. And feel the rebound. How are you in this present moment? Physically, mentally, emotionally? What's here? And then we'll do a symmetrical forward bend, which you can do lying down or sitting. So the lying down version is either hugging the legs or extend the legs up. You can do it again with the strap or on furniture. Or maybe if you want to accentuate the spine coming into caterpillar, you can always put cushions under the legs. So choosing how you want to do your symmetrical forward bend. Adjusting as needs adjusting. And then once you have the shape, landing in the month of June. What happened in June? Some months are easier than others to remember. My birthday being in June, I can remember that. So, what sticks out from June? Events, moods, pleasant and unpleasant. thanking June, and releasing June, landing in May. What happened in May? Of course, you don't have to remember every day. It's a few highlights, the ups, the downs. Where were you? What were you doing? How did it feel? And thanking May, releasing May. April. What was April like? April 2023. Thanking April and letting April go. And March. What happened in March? The pleasant, the difficult, the more obvious, the more subtle memories. Letting days of March fill you. Do you remember the weather from March? The external weather or the internal weather? Your mood? Thanking March. And letting March go. Yeah. Gently coming out of the shape, lying on your back with the block reachable for the next shape. But first, ooh, after 15 minutes of back bending, what's it like right now? Any sensitivity or achiness, feeling that it will pass. Part of the process. It's like life. Achiness and sensitivity, part of the process. But equally are these wonderful tingles and sense of aliveness. And the more that we can include it all, the more alive we are to it all, the more fresh, resilient, capacitated. So feeling this moment, what's going on in your body fully. And then we'll transition from stretching the back body now to compressing it and stretching the front of the body to pontoon. So taking your folded blanket, pillow, block, or book, bend the knees, lift the hips up, bring the block under the tailbone, and then extend the legs. And you can alter how high, you can put more under or less. The target areas that stretch along the hip flexors and the compression in the lower back. Also 5 minutes here. So adjusting what may need adjusting, and then letting go in the shape. Mm, letting the shape and gravity hold you. And 2 more months to remember. How was February? What happened in February? Breathing in the joys and the sorrows. That gift of aliveness. Maybe remembering the inner or external weather of February. And whatever events jump out, what happened in February? And then thanking February, letting February go. January, so almost a full year ago. What happened in January? Breathing through the memories, whether they're bringing a smile to your lips or a tear to your eye, whether they're opening you or there's contraction, just noticing that. What was January 2023 like for you? And thanking January and letting January go. Noticing what it was like to remember last year. Maybe it was an especially wonderful year for you. Maybe a lot of good things happened. Maybe it was a more difficult year, one you struggled through. And however this year was, here you are now, feeling that support and vibrancy of now, relaxing into nowness, to your breath. And if you find there's still some stickiness from the year, just see if it's helpful to invite it to melt off. It has passed. And here you are now. Sense of letting go of the year in preparation for the new year. like clearing out of the cupboards, the internal cupboards. Hmm. What can you clear out? What can you let go of? And sometimes it's just knowing what you would like to let go of, but you can't yet. But at least you know it. There's no change without knowing, with no sense of pressure or time, knowing what needs letting go. And whatever can be let go, sighing it out in the next 3 breaths. Maybe extra big, deep sighs. And then to transition out of the shape, very slowly bend one knee, ground the foot, then bend the other knee, grounding the foot. Push into the feet, engaging your stomach muscles, gently lift up the hips to remove what you were lying on. And then, lie down again. Hmm. What's this like? What are you feeling in your body? We'll do a second back bend, melting heart. So choosing, do you want a long mat or a cushion or a block? What can you use to support that you're arching with the back bend, that it's not too much? Maybe you want a pillow under your head. You can come into butterfly legs if that works for you. Keep the legs straight. The target is the opening up around the heart, that compression in the back, but more the upper back. So check in that it's okay for the neck, the shoulders, arms, wherever you want, and legs either in butterfly or extended out. And here, breathing into the heart, this heart opening posture. Breathing space into the heart. And simply noticing how your heart is feeling right now after that year of review. If it's feeling buoyant or if it's a bit more contracted and needing care. So hold in your heart however it's feeling right now, breathing into it. Then remembering specifically now moments of support, help from friends, colleagues, family members, help from a good book, a good TV show or movie, yoga class. Just remembering the pillars, causes of support this year, and letting your heart feel that and rest with gratitude in the support. So, what has been a support to you this year? Breathing it in and offering it your gratitude. Person, the place, the event. What was of support? Maybe it was somebody's expertise, like the mechanic fixing my car. Thank you, mechanic. Or the doctor taking the metal out of my ankle. Thank you, doctors. Maybe even like calling to mind the support of people you don't know that are supporting you. Those growing your food that you've eaten this year, packaging it, selling it. Those making it possible for the life you have with things running, transport, streets, laws, bureaucracy. Well, we often give bureaucracy a bad name, but you know, a lot gets done through it. And feeling this connected web of support. The more close ones you know, you really felt that kindness from friendship. And then those you don't know, but their lives offer your support. Thank you. Sense of resting in the generosity of life. So much support is there. Breathing it into the heart. Letting your heart be filled with this support. 2, 3 more breaths like this. And then extra filling it up these last couple breaths, like more support for your heart, more gratitude, more acknowledgement of how much is there. And then to come out of the shape, bring the knees up and roll over to one side. You can remove what you were lying on and come back onto your back. I'm just feeling the support of the yoga mat beneath me. I have no idea who made this mat, who designed it. It's a really nice one, squishy. My cozy sweater supporting me right now. The sense of we're all in it together, all doing our bits, suffering and waking up together. Then hugging your knees in towards you, giving yourself a big old hug. You can circle your feet around if you want, or circle your knees around. And then coming into a twist, you may want to bring the hips to one side and then the legs to the other and ground back with your shoulder. Do you want to put a pillow under the legs or between the legs? Where do you want your arms? Which angle for your head? And something that has been of great support to me this year has been, as it's called, the teachings, these wisdom traditions. And I'm so thankful for the people that have passed it on century after century through lived experiences, have really noticed these jewels of life and shared them. And through different traditions. And so sending off your support now to others, and not just others in your life, but maybe future generations. May it be a support down the line in ways you don't even know. Your ripples of support to others. May I be of benefit to others. May I be of support. And then seeing what has more connection for you. Thinking of specific people or all people, present, future, past. And I think in that wishing of being of support, there is this acknowledge acknowledgement of you matter. You matter. And everything you do or don't do matters. Without having to get anything perfect. No, no, no. Of course, messing up is part of it all. Really part of it all. So a few more breaths before we come to the quiet part of the class. May I be a support to others. May I feel that connection. And then land back in your heart, back in your body and mind. And resting here, feeling the rippling effects from that inner inquiry. How are you now? With your next inhale, coming out of the twist, do you want to move your arm first or your legs first? What works for you? Pause and feel. Pause and allow. Then coming to the other side. Twisting the other way, supporting wherever you need support. The body, as you know, cools down and twists, so you may want a blanket. On this shape, just resting in nowness, letting the mind wander wherever it wanders to. That free time for the mind, rest for the body, the heart just held here now, like this. Feeling this breath. And then with an inhale coming out. Another big bear hug, hugging yourself, loving yourself. This amazing body of yours, this amazing heart, mind of yours that's gone through this year and is here now. Hmm. Thank you, body. Thank you, heart. Thank you, mind. Love you. May you be well. And then relaxing into Shavasana. So lying however is comfortable on the back, the belly, the side, with props as you need. And feeling the ripple effects of the tugging on the tissues and tugging on the heart mind through the memories. Giving room to what's here, that spaciousness and willingness. And in that atmosphere of metta, of loving kindness, awake to now. How do you feel now? You're allowing the breath to lead you into some movement, some stretching. Unless you want to stay lying down, and of course, you're at home, do what you like. Otherwise, stretching and coming up to sitting. And I'd like to share part of a poem from John O'Donohue. It's a beautiful book called to bless the space between us. So John O'Donoghue was a writer and along the path of discovery, and he's actually from Fanore, uh, was born there and buried there. And so just part of his poem, it's called At the End of the Year. The particular mind of the ocean, filling the coastline's longing, with such brief harvest of elegant, vanishing waves, is like the mind of time, opening as shapes of days. As this year draws to an end, we give thanks for the gifts it brought, and how they become inlaid within, where neither time nor tide can touch them. We bless this year for all we learned, for all we loved and lost, for the quiet way it brought us nearer to our invisible destination. I'll just read that last stanza again. We bless this year for all we have learned, for all we loved and lost, for the quiet way it brought us nearer to our invisible destination. So sending blessings and gratitude to John O'Donoghue, and to all the poets, all the mystics, all the travelers along this, and to each of you in this year that we've had together. If you like, bring your hands together, breathing in and exhaling, bowing to you, to your heart, to your mind, to your body, celebrating your you-ness in its current state. And then bowing to this community, bowing to all of our communities and the greater community of interconnectedness. May all beings be happy. May all beings be at peace. Blessings to you all.